To understand the position of these brothers, we have to look at the scale of the empire they walked into. They are starving nomads standing in the shadow of the Egyptian pyramids, the seat of an undisputed global superpower. Sitting on the throne is a man holding absolute authority over their survival. Suddenly, he fractures. He cries out, commanding every Egyptian guard and attendant to evacuate the room immediately. The guards file out. The massive doors pull shut. These 11 foreign shepherds are now sealed inside, entirely alone with a volatile, unpredictable ruler. For a moment, there is only the sound of this governor weeping. The brothers stand in total silence, waiting for a judgment they cannot anticipate. At this second, they believe they are at the mercy of a foreign dictator. They have no idea that the man breaking down in front of them is the brother they discarded 2 decades ago. The governor's restraint dissolves. He weeps so loudly that the sound carries through the stone walls, reaching the attendants outside and echoing all the way to the house of Pharaoh. Then Joseph stops using the Egyptian translator. He looks at them and speaks in their native Hebrew. "I am Joseph. Doth my father yet live?" The text notes that his brothers could not answer him. There is no immediate relief or joyous family reunion. They are paralyzed by a suffocating terror. Under the retributive laws of the ancient Near East, they know what follows. They sold their own flesh and blood into slavery. Now that he holds the power of life and death, they expect immediate execution. The famine that drove them across the desert no longer matters. The threat of starvation is eclipsed by the immediate reality of their own past actions catching up to them. Joseph sees their paralysis. Instead of calling the guards back in, he issues a simple instruction. "Come near to me, I pray you." He forces them to close the physical distance between the throne and the floor. As they step forward, he names the crime aloud. "I am Joseph your brother, whom ye sold into Egypt." He does not offer polite euphemisms. True reconciliation requires looking directly at the offense. By naming the exact nature of the betrayal, he establishes a baseline of reality. This forces an extreme vulnerability. The brothers have to stand inches away from the man whose life they ruined, staring at the worst action they have ever committed. By stating the facts plainly, Joseph strips away decades of secrets. There are no defenses left to mount, leaving only the raw, undeniable truth on the table. Then, Joseph gives an unexpected command. "Be not grieved, nor angry. We are 2 years into the famine. Ahead lies 5 continuous years with neither earing nor harvest." Joseph argues God sent him ahead. The betrayal positioned him to build the infrastructure required to outlast the next 5 years. To dismantle their ingrained guilt, he repeats this concept of divine placement 3 separate times in rapid succession. "It was not you that sent me hither, but God." Joseph is reinterpreting their shared history. He frames the original betrayal as the necessary precursor to their survival, turning a family tragedy into a calculated act of preservation. The psychological wall finally breaks. Joseph falls upon his brother Benjamin's neck and weeps, then moves down the line, kissing all of his brothers. Only after this physical reassurance do the brothers find their voices and talk with him. The news travels up the chain of command and pleases Pharaoh. Instantly, the geopolitical reality shifts. These men are no longer viewed as suspicious migrants. They receive a royal invitation to eat the fat of the land. This favor translates into material wealth. Pharaoh and Joseph supply Egyptian wagons, multiple changes of raiment, and 300 pieces of silver, reversing their fortunes. As they pack to leave, Joseph gives them one practical instruction: "See that ye fall not out by the way." He knows their history of infighting and orders them to leave their old resentments behind. Forgiveness has immediate material consequences. In one day, a group of starving foreigners gained legal access to the grain reserves and political protection of the Egyptian empire. The brothers make the long trek back out of Egypt, crossing into the famine-stricken landscape of Canaan with the provisions and wealth of Pharaoh. They arrive at the tent of their father, Jacob, and deliver an impossible sentence. Joseph is yet alive, and he is governor over all the land of Egypt. Jacob's physiological reaction is immediate. His heart faints. For 20 years, his reality has been built on the trauma of his favorite son's death. The news does not compute, but then the brothers present the evidence. When Jacob looks outside and sees the royal Egyptian wagons, technology and wealth impossible to acquire in the hills of Canaan, the proof becomes irrefutable. His spirit is revived. The impact of Joseph's choice reaches beyond the throne room. It mends the heart of a grieving father, reunites a fractured lineage, and provides the logistical security this family needs to survive the next 5 years of famine.